Last year we celebrated 100 years of being on this site. My great-granddad and his dad came up here in '15. We are farming with my dad for 7 or 8 years. I was managing the operation, and in 2007 he officially retired on paper.
My great-great-grandfather moved to Kansas from Illinois in 1903, and currently Randy and I are actually farming ground that my grandfather actually farmed for one of his landladies.
Both of our dads were involved with conservation districts. They saw a great deal of soil loss in that era of two-bottom plows and the first gasoline tractors. You know, we've taken a lot of grass, native prairie in the area that has been overgrazed and grown up with brush and trees, and trying to rejuvenate this land and regenerate this native prairie to where we can have some really productive grass. So it's been a challenge to take some of the pasture and turn them into productive areas. It's been a constant struggle, I guess, to educate landowners on our no-till practices.
It's not the way they farmed, it's not the way their grandfathers farmed, but if they give us a few years, we can show them that it is better for the ground.
No-till is a slow process of rebuilding the soil health, and there's not a dollar assigned to that soil health.
There's a lot of things that benefit the soil health and benefit the whole ecological systems, but it's hard to put a dollar sign on any of it. But I can put a pride sign and I can put value on what I see in the wildlife diversity that has changed over the years. The fact that we're producing more grass every year on the same acres really seems to be something I'm really proud of, and just to see the whole ecological revelation, I guess you would say, in the pastures that were overgrazed just 10 years ago. Experimentation is a huge part of our farm. Randy's always running tests in the fields and wanting me to track them in the combine when I harvest.
The modern technology with our yield monitors and spray monitors has opened up a whole area of on-farm research. We do all of our own spraying, and the section shutoffs for the booms have saved us so much in these smaller fields and odd-shaped fields that I am a believer in. We're trying to work on that to make it even better right now.
In 2007, we took over the farm from Randy's dad, and we planted all the crops. We're so proud of our crops. They looked amazing, and then the end of June came, and we got 24 inches of rain in 24 hours. And the devastation was unbelievable, but we didn't lose as much soil as the neighbors, thanks to our no-till, thanks to the soil structure we built through the no-till, and thanks to the cattle, we still had cash flow that year. And then 2 years later, my dad retired from farming, gave us his farm ground to farm as well, and we started to go through a drought. The no-tills really helped some of those crops hang on or hold on to the soil structure for us a little better. I'm pretty much in charge of the entire cattle operation from management. Randy helps me when I need to work cattle, but all the decisions I make. If you ask my oldest son what the #1 problem with the livestock industry today is, he will tell you consumer education and misinformation that they have. Some misinformation got into our schools a couple of years ago, and I got a little fired up and started a blog. I started my blog called Tales of a Kansas Farm Mom, and I've tried really hard to connect with those that don't have the connection with agriculture, to try to educate people on what actually happens on a farm. These are all things that moms in the towns want to show their kids but don't have that connection to help get that information to them.
Well, our hopes are sure to be able to pass it on to our kids.
All of our parents and grandparents pushed us to leave the land better than what we find it. I think that's every farmer's hope, and I hope that we educate the landowners' kids and grandkids along the way as well.